Good afternoon, brothers and sisters. Lehi, Second Ward, it's Bishop Kenney. I've got a couple items that I want to share with you, and since we are locked down and separated in a really unique way, I thought we'd take to technology and put a video out. This is an interesting paradigm, frankly. Usually when a crisis occurs, the request is that we gather closer physically, can provide some social support, generally encouraged to gather in small groups. In this case, of course, we are being encouraged to separate and isolate completely. And I think that might cause a couple of challenges for us in terms of our social dynamic. I think stresses may rise, depression may rise, etc., etc. What I want to point out is that you have a lot of support in the ward, and if we embrace technology and embrace communication in the way that we need to, we truly can bless many families and bless our own families in this short period of grieving as we suffer through the isolation of the coronavirus. Here's a few items for our ward that I want to get out so that we can be settled and secure, that we can truly practice our faith in living, have the opportunity to be blessed by our Savior as He knows what we're going through. I think He recognizes that we will and continue to have challenges, but if we endure these well, I suspect that we will be much greater at the end of this trial, that our faith will be promoted, that we will strengthen in serving one another, maybe being a little less narcissistic and concentrating on ourselves. This may give us an opportunity to truly serve and bless the lives of many around us. Also, it may serve to put some things into perspective for us in terms of what truly are priorities in this life as we develop in our discipleship. So a couple of the items that I want to address, first and foremost, is if you still have a chance and you haven't done it yet, you may want to make a run to make sure you've got enough supplies to get through the next couple of weeks. I don't want to incite any fear or panic, but there is food on the shelves at the local stores. And if we look at some of the patterns that are happening throughout the country, there's more and increasing and stricter limitations on our travel, on our opportunity to work, our opportunity for commerce. I don't think there's any issue coming by way of food and by way of supply. Certainly in our modern capitalist world, there's a benefit to those who are producing now to produce and deliver because items are flying off the shelf. Being involved specifically in agriculture, I know good and well that agriculture is working night and day as a sector to provide the food that consistently has been provided. So that's not going to stop. So there's no need to panic that way. But for the immediate future, if you find that we get locked down or further quarantined and restricted for a week or 2 weeks' time, do an inventory on your house. Make sure that you can survive that. And if there are some doubts, go ahead and go gather up some of those supplies. It may be a wise time to start rationing a little bit in your home as well if you haven't already. Just making sure that your goods and supplies will last the duration of a week or maybe a 2-week period of not being able to leave your house. Probably now is a good time to reemphasize that in a virus type situation like this, everything that we're hearing and being told is that it is indeed a good practice and good policy to lock down. It is certainly a better safe than sorry quarantine, and I would encourage each of you in your homes to heed to that counsel that's been given us by our church leaders as well as by our national leaders. The voices that are speaking on the national side include many well-respected doctors, those who don't have any real dog in the fight politically, but those who truly are saying for our health and security and those around us, those maybe that also may be suffering from illnesses or high risk or in frail environments, that we don't want to contaminate those people by us being out and about and being somewhat cavalier in our doings. We'd be ahead to take the counsel that's been given and shelter in place, and we may receive more restrictions. So that's my caution to you, is go ahead and secure your supplies. Don't go overboard, but make sure that you've got a couple of supplies. Further, I will add that this is something that has been counseled by prophets for years. Frankly, you should have supplies on hand anyway. And there may be a couple of loose ends that you want to tie up to make sure that those supplies are palatable and taste good, and now would be a chance to just bolster what you have.